Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Joey Olivo here with Legacy Strength, and we are on week 3 of our Eat Smart and Burn Fat series to help you kick off your new year in this 2025. And today, we're going to be talking about busting fat loss myths, carbs, fats, and metabolic flexibility. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to get right into it. I hope you guys followed the last 2 videos that I did in order to help you follow along and get a great kickstart to this year. So the first point, why low carb and low fat diets aren't always the answer. A lot of times extreme restrictions often lead to short-term results and they're not sustainable in the long term. So I don't always recommend people to go super low carb right away or super low fat right away. I make sure that you always start off with a balanced diet. Make sure that you're having some protein and a nice balance of protein and carbs in your diet when you start. Whenever I send out your initial meal plan or your meal outline, you're going to get a good balance of carbs, a good balance of fats and a good balance of proteins in order for you to start losing some weight. Carbs and fats both have essential roles in your body. Carbs are for the go, so they're to help you fuel your energy, and your fats are there to help you support your hormone health. So too little of either one is going to not be very good for you in the long term. Sometimes when people go too low carb way too long, they find that their energy is really lagging. They're just like kind of having problems sleeping. Their mood isn't really right. And same thing goes for when people are too low fat for too long. And sometimes some people's bodies do better on higher carb and some people are better on higher fat. What does remain the same is that your protein level must also be high. And then what you do, we figure out which macronutrient supports your body more. So how to choose the carbs that work for you. So when it comes to carbs, you always want to opt for the slower digesting carbs first. They help you maintain steady energy levels, reduce cravings, and with these types of slower burning carbs, we're looking at eating whole grains, things like sweet potatoes, oats, quinoa, a lot more fruits and vegetables. The more of those types of carbs in your life, the better you're going to look. Make sure that you avoid the highly processed carbs, the sugary snacks, white breads, and soda. Yes, they're all carbs. Not all carbs are bad. The highly processed carbs are the ones that you want to stay away from. And trust me, once you start filling yourself up on the healthier carbs, you're going to feel a lot better, look a lot better. Sleep will be better, your energy will be better throughout your day. And if you go back, and then you'll find that you'll actually crave the highly processed carbs a lot less. Next, the role of healthy fats. So the fats help you regulate hormones like insulin, cortisol, and these influence fat storage and energy levels. You got to make sure you choose healthy fats and keep them in your diet regularly. We're looking at things like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon. Your body needs the fats in order to help you build up your hormones. Now, finally, to discuss metabolic flexibility, this is the ability to both use carbs and fats efficiently as energy to sustain fat loss. So when you start learning how to use your carbs and fats in your diet regularly, you will really start seeing a dramatic change in your body. You really start with a balanced diet, like I said, staying active, avoiding yo-yo dieting, making sure that you're tracking your food intake, and if you see that your carbs are going to be a higher end one day, you make sure the fats stay a little low, so that way you don't go over your calorie intake, and vice versa. Sometimes if your fats are, you had a fattier eating day, say you had some steak, you had some avocado, you had some salmon, well, yes, it's all healthy, but yes, it's also higher in calorie, that your carbs would be a little lower on days like that. So this is what really helps you achieve that metabolic flexibility, when you can actually go back and forth with higher carb, lower fat, and vice versa, depending on how much you eat in a day. Another thing when it comes to carbs and fats, a lot of times when you're looking at higher processed foods, the fat and carbs come together a lot. And what happens is when they come together in these processed foods, and I'm talking about you're looking at a healthy food like a potato, which is, we know, it has some calories in it, very healthy. But when you fry it in fat and you make a French fry out of it, now you've got a calorie bomb, because now you've got a lot of fat, a lot of carbs and when you put those two together, it makes these processed foods really easy to overeat. So when you have a bunch of, and when you have fat and carbs and you put it together, your body just wants to suck it up. So just make sure you watch out for that. And if you look at things like a bagel with cream cheese, yeah, cream cheese has a place. A bagel, not the best option, but when you put them together, it's just very easy to consume and eat. If you look at processed foods like cookies, they are full of what? Butter and sugar. Also, a fat and a very simple carbohydrate. You put those together, and it's like just a big calorie bomb that's not going to help you very much. So just make sure you watch out for that. And keep focusing on healthier carbs and healthier fats. So some action steps for you guys. Make sure you keep your plate balanced, all right? So I always tell people, look at your plate as a circle. Half your plate should be vegetables of some sort. The next quarter of your plate should be your proteins. The next quarter of your plate should be your carbohydrates. So just make sure you keep that plate balanced. And if you're going for even higher protein, half that plate could be protein. Okay, so it just depends on how you're planning it out. But just make sure that the carbs stay on the smaller portion. Make sure you have some vegetables. Make sure you have some protein. Make sure you have a healthy fat and a slow digesting carb with each meal. Experiment with the portion sizes. Adjust the carbs and fats based on how your body feels and performs. So if you really start to feel like your energy's lagging, sleep is starting to be terrible, try adding some more carbs, especially if they've been really low. Your body just might be having a reaction to the carbs being too low for too long. So just add a fist-sized servings of carbs. So just something about this much should be about right for you. If you're struggling with hunger, you might need to add some fat. So add a thumb-sized portion of fat. Usually it's about 1 ounce of nuts or some avocado or something like that. So just make sure you're kind of experimenting with healthy fats and the carbs to see what works best for your body. And finally, just make sure you're avoiding the extremes. So always aim for moderation instead of cutting out the entire food groups. I think a lot of people, when they first start, they always hear, oh, yeah, I need to go low carb or I need to go low fat. And you cut out this entire food group, which is like 30% of your calories. And now you're not really hitting your calorie intake. Your energy's low. You're not getting all the nutrients that you need. Just keep your food full, keep it nutritious, keep it real, keep it whole foods, and you'll see how much better your body will respond. So healthy proteins, healthy carbs, healthy fats more often, and you can't go wrong. So a couple of quick meal ideas here for you. Breakfast, you can always go with a whole grain toast with some avocado, a poached egg, a side of berries. If you can't, poached eggs are delicious. They don't even take that long to make, but I always like to have hard-boiled eggs in the refrigerator. That's always an easy grab and go snack. The hard-boiled egg is portable. It's easy to make a lot in one batch, so that's a win-win. And you can always put that on some toast with some avocado, 1, 2, 3, and that's an easy takeaway snack or breakfast for you. Lunch, you could do a grilled chicken with some quinoa, spinach, and some olive oil dressing. Very simple. Dinner is something as simple as a salmon with roasted vegetables and a sweet potato. And any snacks would just be a handful of almonds with apple or veggie sticks with hummus. And those are always really great options. I spoke last week about the Mediterranean plate where you could do some hummus, some vegetable sticks, some nuts, some cheese, and just make a plate out of that. And that plate could be anywhere from 200 to 350 plus calories, and just be all good healthy stuff for you. So that's something to always look at. And you could also put some cold cuts on that plate and just kind of munch on that like that, and then you have a good healthy option. Bonus tip, make sure you stay consistent with your meals for 80% of the week and allow for flexibility the other 20% to avoid burnout and help you maintain long-term progress. So we do believe in this 80-20 rule for your diet, where 80% you should be really on point. And if you're eating right, you should not have these crazy cravings. You should be able to sustain a healthy diet. And the other 20%, yeah, you have some freedom. No, you don't have the freedom to go wild and have these 5,000 calorie days, but you do have the freedom to bump up those calories a little bit, enjoy a couple of snacks, enjoy a dessert with your dinner, but just make sure you don't go totally overboard and blow your calories out of the water. All right, so that's all I have for you guys today. This has been the third week of Eat Smart, Burn Fat. Looking forward to doing more. Please let me know any feedback. Let me know how this is helping you out. Let me know any questions in the comments below. I am here to help you. This is going to be your year. Looking forward to doing this next week with our final edition of this. So talk to you guys soon. Take care.